Hey, welcome back, gamers of all varieties, to some more Robocraft here with me, Rollin, and today I'm inventing some new things for propellers. I'm kind of done with the mechs, so I figured I would try something that could fly around, and I wanted to strip away everything I didn't really need. So instead of having lots of blocks, I said, what would happen if I just put a module in the middle and stuck 4 propellers on the outside? So that was my first iteration. You saw there for a second, the raw ball, but then I thought to myself, well, hey, if that works so good, but it is flipping all over the place and unstable, this would probably work really well with Teslas. So I created what I called the Tazeball. It uses disc blades and propellers, and then has a module in the middle. It's a lot of fun. It's just kind of controlled through camera control steering, and no guns or anything on this particular model, but you could add, you know, maybe nanos or plasma and stuff like that to it. So I just want to try something different, and figured instead of putting a shield module like I did in the raw ball, I would try an EMP on this one, so you have that little extra advantage of being able to stun people with it and then hit them. I would say this is probably a pretty overpowered build, maybe even something that needs to be looked at in the future of Robocraft, as I've never really played another Tesla quite like the one I made here. Usually Teslas, you have to be kind of, you know, cognizant of your surroundings and retreat, but in this one you can just go like full-fledged in and attack, and then you know, back up too with the EMP, take out a whole group of people. And then when you get into trouble like me here, you can just kind of back off. This guy's, you know, giving me some heals, and then get right back into the action, because the core of the 4 rotor blades and then being combined with that module in the middle is so strong that it makes it a little overpowered. But anyway, I was pretty happy with this. I thought it was pretty inventive. I hadn't seen anything quite like it. I'd seen like Fromy and some other people who are on YouTube create things like the Sonic, which is more of like an airship or a drone. And so I wanted to go with more, something a little bit, you know, quicker, and something that would be mostly Tesla, and be a lot of fun to play, which it was here. So what really made this vehicle work so well is just that the propellers themselves are unbalanced. So if you attach them to a surface, they'll tend to lean one direction, kind of make the whole vehicle heavier on one side. And then the modules too, especially the EMP, is not perfectly balanced either. So I knew that it would have a spin if I put it all together in the center. So I wanted to just attach some arrow rods that are super lightweight and some Teslas on the outside. And those Teslas and the you know, diagonal 3D arrow rods provide pretty good protection too on the core, as they soak up damage and don't destroy the blocks at the very core. So it worked out pretty well. It was a good little idea. And you know, I figure that probably a lot of people will build similar things too to this after they kind of see the concept of it. So I figured we'll get some matches in, put it up on the shop, and we'll kind of see what people do with it over the next couple of days, and developing their own versions of the Tazeball for themselves. So we're going to take this guy out real quick here. So powerful, you know, you can just get up on somebody, hit them, and then with the propellers, they can tank enough damage where you can take a couple shots or plasma hits and finish off your victim, and then move off and come back into it. Now I thought about adding more Teslas to this thing, maybe having Teslas on the top and bottom too, but it was already at 1487 CPU, and I wanted to reserve enough CPU so the energy would be better on it as far as output. Because if you get into a situation where you're down in the middle of a group of people like here, you're going to want to have a little extra energy to, you know, hit the next dude. So there we go, we killed 3 guys right there. Let's come in here and finish this guy. The other cool thing about this is you can kind of roll around players when you really get good at the camera controls, and then hit them with the Teslas that you have on the backside. So it works really nice. And then with the speed of this thing, as you see here, and also the way it turns in the air, it makes it really easy to dodge shots, and it's hard for people to hit with flak or missiles or whatever you have, SMGs. It's just kind of hard to hit this thing. So, and same too with some of the other things I've seen invented. Fromy and some of those guys on YouTube also did one called Sonic, which was using plasma and nanos together in kind of a speedy format too. So I thought that was kind of interesting and kind of innovative on that platform. It took me a couple of games to really get good at flying this thing, and you know, probably after the first 2 or 3 games, I got really good at chasing people down and kind of finding the sweet spot. So once you get used to kind of controlling and looking at what you want to destroy, and then kind of compensating with your shifts and your spacebar and stuff, it makes it pretty easy to get in there and finish people off like this guy here. Certainly, I imagine this is going to change the meta of the game when enough of these get into it, because it does seem so like impervious to just getting destroyed. And there we go. We got another victory here. Let's see how we fare in this one. We ended up with 8 kills. Alright, but it was a pretty short game. 0 deaths and 4 assists. I've noticed I usually don't get top score with this vehicle, but I do get the most kills. Here's another game I played later on with 25 kills, 1 death, and I ended up with 37,000 damage, which is pretty crazy. Here's another one where I'm trying to finish off the tower with my Teslas, and that's one of the weaknesses of this build, like I did it, is just that it's not great against the crystals themselves, but you can get in there at the end and kind of hit them. This is not sped up, by the way. That's really how fast this Tazeball moves. So another victory there. This particular match, I got 19 kills and 0 deaths, 18,900 damage. So did pretty good, almost the top score. But when you're just working on kills alone and you're not healing and you're not taking towers, it's kind of hard to keep up. So here's what the market looked like the Friday the 13th. I went on there just to kind of show you that no one else really had anything like it. The closest thing was the vehicle up there called Fractured Butthole, but it wasn't the same. It was more like a flying drone. So there's my Tazeball at the bottom. And had a couple buys, got 4 stars, but I want to see what happens in a couple days' time. I'm not going to be able to play Saturday, so what I'm going to do is I'll come back and we'll see what people have come up with the Tazeball. Here's a cool plane, though. I like that one a lot. Alright, so it is now present time, the 17th of January 2017, and let's see what is on the factory now and what people have come up with off the Tazeball idea. So we have one down here called Torblino. That one was by Lovely Calf, and he added on a couple nanos to the original idea, some more blades. So that was pretty good innovation. And then we have this guy here named Nachi, who basically just took my exact idea and added 2 radar jammers. So I think that's kind of crappy, actually, just adding like 1 or 2 little parts to something. And he sold 292 of those things. So you're welcome, Nachi, for for my idea. Enjoy that, Robits. So that's one thing that kind of bothers me about Robocraft. People can just basically take someone else's idea, and then basically by having their friends buy it or them buying it themselves on another account, they can just upvote their own robot and then outsell you. But I did take some of Torblino's ideas, and I did go 3-dimensional with the Tazeball. So this is Tazeball 2, a couple more of the blades on it, and I colored it up a little bit, wanted to make it look a little more interesting too. And I've also had a couple games with Atlas cores since the video last time. So we'll take it out and we'll see how we'll do in this game. Sometimes I like to start at the other tower here and just kind of hit a couple of the crystals. And then usually the best way to play Tazeball is just to play offense against these guys being able to take it. And see, right now they're looking up, so I'm going to go ahead and stun them. We'll come in here and run these guys over since now they've been EMP'd. Alright, we got a missile launcher on the other team. I haven't really had a hard time with missile launchers. You just have to kind of take cover. And a lot of times most of the missiles are going to miss anyway if you stay close to the ground and you take cover in the right way. So back off a little bit here, let our blades regenerate. There we go. And then we'll see if we can finish these guys off again. Just come over the top here and hit this guy. There we go, took out his tank tracks. And now I'm going to go and see about defending the other tower. It looks like they don't have one yet, so if we can just keep them from getting towers and do point denial, that's going to be the best way I could probably serve the team. Got a copter up here. Let's see if I can hit him before he notices me. And, oh, he's got an EMP on the ground, but we'll see if we can take both these guys out. There we go. Now, if we can finish off this tower, that'd be great. But like I was saying earlier, the Teslas just are not very good at taking out crystals. You can kind of go, but you're going to waste a lot of power on it. And with the new Tazeball 2, I'm also a lot higher CPU. So I'm now at, I think something like 1751 on this particular model. There was a couple other people too that made Tazeballs that I didn't show off on the shop, and some of them added in things like thrusters, but I don't really think that's necessary. One of the guys too I checked out who did a similar build to mine after the fact had used a ghost module and kind of did something sort of like the shuriken with the rotating thrusters, but that kind of defeats the purpose. I don't think you need to hide when you're playing a Tazeball. You can pretty much just let people know you're coming, and then the fear of them seeing this giant ball of Teslas coming at you usually makes them focus on you or run or react or something like that. So I actually like letting the enemies know that I'm coming. You know, you can use cover and stuff like that smartly so you're not getting hit by their fire. But, you know, like right there, usually people will back off and stuff like that, or they'll turn their attention to you. So, since that's your primary role on the team, it's, you know, I think it's good to actually pull them away from whatever they were doing and have them focus on you. And you're so fast, too, you can kind of swivel around like I'm doing with this guy. You can do pretty significant damage and then get out of the way. And if you have somebody like a healer on the team like this guy here is doing for me, works out pretty nicely, too. That flak helicopter is a pretty good idea. If I was thinking about ways to counter this, the things that I've run into that are the most difficult to contend with are going to be shotguns. Missile launcher actually is not as bad as you probably would think. I'm usually able to get away from that, but it is pretty annoying if I go up against a missile launcher guy on propellers too, because it's hard to catch them. I'll take this guy real quick. Rails can usually hit at least 1 or 2 times, but then I'll start evading, and then it usually gets pretty difficult for them to finish me off, especially when I'm just down to my blades like here. I've noticed too on this, even if you lose one blade on one side, you still have the one on the opposite side to still control that particular movement. So you're pretty much, it's really hard to take out the movement on this thing, because you have to take out blades on both sides. The center core is a lot of CPU too, you know, it's going to be the module of your choosing. I personally, like I said, prefer the EMP, as I want to play more offense and let people know that I'm coming and just basically wreck everybody, than trying to be stealthy and sneak in. I feel like if you're playing a shuriken or playing a more fragile Tesla, that's when the sneaking kind of comes more into play. For something that's like tanky like this, you're not going to want to do the same kind of tactic. Gotta run over that guy real quick. Then we can try again taking some of the crystals here, but it's just not the greatest at it, so I pretty much divert now to going back and just making sure the team will not respawn. Here's another guy, we'll go ahead and take his leg out. There we go, another kill. And finish this guy. There we go. So I have pretty high overclock, but again, it's just from doing kills. Now, if you wanted to, I don't think Torbolino's idea, or Cap or whatever his name was, wasn't bad with putting on some nanos on the outside, so you might try that out. Or you might even look at his bot and buy his bot if you like the idea of doing the nanos. But Blades is kind of more purist and fills that one role, I think, a little bit better, as it soaks up pretty good damage and lets you kill more people in a smaller area too. So there we go, we won another game. Let's see how we did this time. Got 12 kills, 0 deaths, and 6 assists. Pretty good, 13,400. So yeah, that is the Tazeball and Tazeball 2. Definitely check that out in the shop if you guys are interested in it. I just wanted to show off what I'd been up to and what I created. Pretty proud of it, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. I will say that I think it is a little overpowered and probably needs to be balanced in the future, because it just seems to kind of, the only thing it really has a hard time competing against is other propeller drones. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. Please thumbs up the video if you would, and leave a like. Let me know what you guys think down below. And I'll see you in my very next episode here on Gamer Guide. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.